Okay, so I know who's here.
Would you like to share your name?
I heard Lisa.
I heard Lisa too.
I did. Lisa twice.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi,
Wow.
Lisa.
You guys were checking houses, you were checking predators, and you just kept saying, I need a witness. So actually I want to just do a prayer because she's afraid that she's going to go to hell. Bridget? I heard Bridget. My name is Gabrielle Gardner. From the time I was a little girl, I have seen and heard the dead. For years it terrified me, until I began to understand that they are people just like you and me. Most of the souls that I meet are looking for assistance. I had no idea why or how to help them, until I had a life-changing experience, as my guide showed me how to assist souls in the in-between. These are souls in the non-physical who have died, and not yet fully crossed over to the place of light and love. These souls have often experienced extreme pains and traumas, and still need to release the heavy energies that can carry over from a life. I am now dedicated to doing everything I can to help the souls I meet share their stories, and process and release their traumas. Once they have expressed what they wish to share, I then work with my guides to perform an ancient healing ceremony to honor these souls and help get them to where they are meant to be. Together with a small team of spirit workers and healers, we are determined to document spirit communication, honor these souls, help them share their stories, and carry out the sacred process of soul crossings. So, is there an easy pause? So, do we think that's maybe a hit right now? Do we think that's a theremin hit? I think it's going off.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
I don't know which one's going
It's
off.
this one.
It's that one.
Yeah. So, I just want to...
Yeah.
Let's get some of the...
Let's go ahead and...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Because we might need to see that.
Yeah.
Any tissue.
Yeah. I bet that was audible.
Yeah.
We'll get that.
Is the volume good enough?
Yeah. Okay. They say yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
Are we going to keep that
I'm
one
going to
right
go
here?
ahead and start. Yeah. We already think we just heard the little girl's voice that I'm talking to.
Oh.
So.
Are we going to... Well, we don't
No,
want to start with this.
I want to get through the intro. That's wild.
Yeah, we're still hearing a lot of theremin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's not like a consistent, like a phone or an EMF. I mean, okay.
No.
So I'm just going to start. Oh, big chills.
Just a sec. I'm going to
Here
go
we go.
ahead and
Hang on,
record.
I got too much audio here.
Okay.
Test.
It's fine. This is being recorded so we can see that. There we go. Okay, so I know who's here real quick, and I'm going to re-say this again in a minute, but you're already making this device work, and this helps other people who can't see you the way that I can see you. This will help.
We kind of need to start over.
I know. I'm telling her. So you're doing a really great job using this device, but I have to explain it, and I'm going to tell people your story, and then we're going to talk to you, okay? Okay.
Okay, I need to hear some of Suzanne.
Test. This is me test for some questions.
It sounds like we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to I think we'll film the intro afterwards, but what I want to do is explain what I experienced and why we're here, who I'm talking to, and who the guides brought forth to me. This is another one of those really strange cases where we're not going to another location. We're doing this here in our own home because that's where the guides brought me two individuals. First just one, and then one of them connected me to a second. Okay, so 4 nights ago, I'm going to explain it. Yeah, 4 nights ago, I had a dream. It was a very terrible dream, and I don't usually experience spiritual dreams. I don't get dead people in dreams. But this was one. And the guides brought forth a man who they showed me was a detective. He was a police detective in life, and he lived to be a very old age, and he just recently passed. So he passed, I think, in the last few weeks, and he is, I'm sorry to be speaking about you as if you're not here. I know you're here too. Yeah. So he is not crossing. You're not crossing. You won't cross over. Because one of the victims of the hardest cases that you worked many, many years ago, decades ago, when this case haunts you, she didn't cross over. And she was a little girl, and you just died, and you saw that she never crossed, and so you're not going to go without her. That's my dog Stevie, by the way, and I know that Stevie likes little kids, so she might disrupt some, but it's okay because the little girl's going to be more comfortable with Stevie here. So we'll try to keep her quiet, but Stevie knows that there's a little girl here.
It's all right.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. You just try not to touch the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So I'm going to just explain what was shown to me in this dream. And this was a combination of, good girl, of the guide showing it to me, and I've never seen anything like this. And you showed it to me. Sorry, there's like a lot of emotion here because it's just like a terrible crime. Okay, here we go. So this crime happened, I believe, and you can confirm with some of the sounds if you want by making the device go off. I believe it was in maybe the late 60s or the early 70s, but it was quite a while ago. And I don't even know if this was a local case. I'm not sure. It feels to me like it was not. It feels like it came from a ways away. But you were the lead detective on this case. And you just feel so responsible. You just feel so responsible for this, which is so silly. You did everything you could to find her. Okay, so a little girl went missing, and she was supposed to be on her way home from school. She was very young. She was like 6 or 7 years old. He wants it told, but he doesn't want to hear it. But it's important to share this story because people need to know about it. There's some weird thing here too where it wasn't publicized and a lot of people never even knew it happened. And you kind of were left with some of the haunting parts of it on your own. It's a good thing for people to hear about. Okay, so a little girl went missing, and everybody believed that she was probably abducted on her way home from school. And so all of the efforts were spent looking at suspicious adults in the area and, child predators in the area. And you covered all of your bases. You did everything you could to find her. And the reason this one is so messed up is she never even left the school. And this is what I'm being shown, is that it was actually 2 older boys who took her and kept her somewhere in the school that looks like the basement. And they kept her there for 4 or 5 days and did terrible things. It was nightmarish and hellish and just nothing good. And you, just guilt is so strong. Because you feel like it was like right in front of your face. But it wasn't. I mean, nobody would have thought that that would be happening, that could have been what happened. Okay, so the guides right now are really trying to walk this guy. I'm talking not to him, but about him. I know you can hear me. Are trying to get you to release some of that guilt. Okay, because this is part of a soul fracture for you, and so I can see that you were leading patrols through the neighborhood. You guys were checking houses, you were checking predators, and you just kept saying, I need a witness. You're like, I need a witness. I keep hearing that over and over in my head. I need a witness. And then finally, on that 4th or 5th day, there was a witness, that a woman who had seen that these 2 teenage boys had kept coming and going from the school. And the minute you heard that, I can just feel it. It was like dread, just dread, because you knew. That was like your cop instinct. You knew that she was there. So Stevie's stressed because I can feel the girl here too. She's further back, but this guy is really... sorry, gosh, so many feelings. Okay. So I can see that you, as soon as you heard, you knew. Your cop instinct was like, that's where she's at. You got some others, and I can see, like, you've got this loop stuck. So I'm seeing this loop, and I'm working with guides to help him kind of let go of this loop too. So this man, this detective, continued on with his life after this case and lived, like I said, many more years, another 45 years. But man, he didn't know how to let that one go. And I can see why. I have a hard time letting hard stuff go too. It's not easy seeing people who seem so innocent, so hurt. But so I can see you ran in the building, you went down those stairs, and the 2 boys were still down there. Yeah, I can just see so much hatred for them, because he knew that they were bad. I can see you ran up to one that was actually the one who was kind of a tag-along. And I can see you just like grab him and shake him and say, what did you do? What did you do? And the other one was just, the other kid was evil. And you knew he was like lost. You could already tell. That was just an evil kid. I don't know why souls are like that. But this other one, you're shaking him, you said, what did you do? What did you do? And they were still there because she had just died not very long before. And they were actually in the middle of trying to figure out how to get rid of her body. And that kid, I can see, I don't know why I can see this one this way. I can see it like a movie. I don't know who's doing that, if that's guides or you. It might be your memory, I don't know. But so he like glances and looks towards the bathroom that's down there in what I think was like a locker room or something in the basement. And you go in towards the bathroom and I can just feel it's like dread. You just have like the deepest dread. And you go in and you open the door and you're looking, and I can see you like looking in the stalls.
And then you just like, oh God, you can just like see this metal trash can, and it's like full of paper towels, and you just know before you even look. And you look down and you like move some paper towels aside, and I can just see it's like the top of her head. And you're just like stuck on that image of like the top of her head, her, just like she had dark brown hair. I can see it, just this little head. And you remember like, for a minute you had hope she might be alive. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's not something that could have been changed. We're never gonna know why. We don't know why these things happen. The guides will help you figure that out, help you see it. I haven't figured it out. But I can just feel you. You see her head, and you reached in and you moved the paper towels and you picked her up. And I can just see you. She said, oh God, she's still warm. I can see you just say that over and over. Okay. And I don't know what to say here, because you found her, and that's a big part of these cases, is you found her so that her family knew. And it's terrible, but it means a lot that they had her for closure, and they knew where she was. The candle just went out.
You want to grab another one?
No.
Okay.
I know. So he right now is having just like an existential thing. I mean, too. What I keep hearing is I stopped believing in God that day. God wasn't there, so I didn't see God there. There was no part of God there. He just keeps saying that over and over. Yeah. Okay, so he's saying, I'm just going to relay what I'm hearing. I can just hear him like he's talking. And he says, God still is here because she didn't cross over. And he says, why the hell wouldn't she cross over? Why wouldn't an innocent little girl like that not cross over? And I don't know. There's these things I see called soul fractures, which is when a soul, usually a little soul, is hurt by people in life. It's very different. She is not experiencing this the way, time moves here. It's not been 40 or 50 years for her. So, part of why he's coming to me too is, why the guides brought him is, unfortunately now, so I want to also preface this by we're going to get her. Okay, so that's what's going to happen tonight.
Yep.
I can just hear him saying, go get her. Yeah. We'll get her. Not just us. Guides will get her. Angels will. And we'll be able to get her because of you. You're doing your job, like even in the afterlife. You're still finding people who are lost, and you're still finding this little girl, and you're making sure that she gets home safe. Okay. So I can see, part of this is he has anger because he's able to see some of the things that happened to her that he didn't see, but it's just the way spirit works. So he can see some of the terrible stuff she went through. And he's just so full of rage and anger that they did something like that to her. A sticking point here is that one of the boys, the boy who was very evil, and he's coming to this, the detective is coming to this, is that his mom was very checked out, and she was, I don't know how to say this a better way. She was a sex worker, and she had a lot of men coming and going, and she was just not there for this kid, and this kid developed like an extreme hatred of all women and females, even little kids. So that's where this evil was born, if you will. And because of that, one of the things that is bothering this detective too is that there were things like words written all over the little girl's body in lipstick. And I can just see it so clearly. And this little boy did that. He like wrote terrible words about women on this little girl. And it was with his mom's lipstick, and it was like a very symbolic thing. But this detective was just, he drank. He drank many days of his life away overseeing this girl's body covered in that lipstick. The words. So I think part of that is the guides are going to walk him through seeing that that's something that won't make sense to us, but that little kid, that little boy, also was damaged, and it doesn't make it right, and I'm not going to find any way to explain this, ever. There is no way to explain it. But he was very, very deeply damaged as well, and he, hurt her because he was hurt. It doesn't make it right, I know. That's just anger. Not just. It's very real. I'm sorry I said it that way. Okay. So part of what I need to get out, too, that I have stuck is this really weird... There was a terrible part of this that prior to them abducting this little girl, these boys had done terrible things together, and they'd started with like killing small animals, and they started killing a lot of bunnies and rabbits around. And the way that this evil kid, this really messed up, damaged kid, got this other kid who was kind of a tag-along to stay involved is just in this totally twisted thing. He put, it's just like a stomach-turning thing that bothers me. He like put like a rabbit Halloween mask on the little girl, and that was how he said it's just like the rabbits. He kept saying it's just like the rabbits to this other kid, and so he put this mask on the little girl, and that was how the little girl was for the rest of her time. She wore this stupid mask, and that was how she saw everything. And so like the really terrible images that I've seen or like so much fear from her seeing through this mask, and it's just this terrible thing. And he knows that part now because he sees it. I know you see that too. And it was just like, you didn't even know that part. And that's why I'm seeing it so much too, is because you figured that out after you passed. And it just added to the whole gross, twisted part of it. So we're going to let that one go together, because that's bugging me. That's not something that we're supposed to carry. Either of us. I hear this from my guides. I'm talking to you. He's wanting to turn away. Don't. We see terrible things, people like us who work to help people who are suffering, and then we're supposed to let it go as soon as we're done seeing it. And I'm not good at it yet either, but honestly, I'm going to get better than you did, because you held it forever. And we're not supposed to hold on to stuff that we see that isn't good. We got to let that stuff go. And you need to let those images go now too. And they're going to help you. I'm just waiting. I can feel him processing. I need another tissue. Okay, so I don't want to talk about the case more than we just did. We got through it. We talked about it. And now it's time that we jeez. Hold on. Okay, so I think the detective's kind of stepping back for a minute. I think this is his mom.
The boy's mom.
Yeah. I don't know if she's crossed either. That might just be a guide bringing her through.
And that she has crossed?
I don't think she has. I'm going to ask. I don't think she's crossed over either. I think that she feels like she caused this. Well, we just talked about her. I'll ask, is the person who's making this device go off right now the mom of the boy who hurt this little girl? Is this a guide who's bringing her through and telling me that she needs to cross too? I don't know. She also might not want to be known. So, also, it might be that she doesn't want to just be known as that. Like, that she doesn't want to just be identified as the mom of the boy who did that. Yeah. Okay. Jeez. There's like 3 people who didn't cross over in this case. I don't know why stuff gets this weird and mixed up sometimes. Can you, if this is the mom of that boy, and I know that you are more than just that. Okay, it is you. Thank you for coming here. I think that part of this is, I think for some reason, sometimes souls and however it works, our threads of our lives kind of cross. And we all have these really weird experiences together. And this was some kind of defining experience for all of you guys. And somehow you're all mixed together. And so I think part of how, I don't want to tell you what to do, what I'm seeing is that part of how you can let go of what happened and some of the stuff you did and all of it is to help her cross tonight. And so I think you're going to help. And you're going to get to go, too. There's just like so much shame. I feel a lot of shame, and she just feels like she was sorry to talk about you, but I need to explain what I'm hearing and feeling. Just a sense of being a failure, and you weren't a good mom, and you weren't a good person, and all this kind of stuff, and those kind of feelings are stuff that eat us up. Okay.
What the heck?
What?
My camera just shifted view.
Oh, maybe she was in front of it.
Did you move the camera a little bit?
Okay, siren passed. So what they're wanting me to tell you is something that I can feel you just, you know what I'm going to say. And they're saying that you're not a bad person. You're not a bad soul. And you just like loathe that statement and that sentence to your core. Because you say, how could I have been anything other than that when I made a kid who did what he did? And we can't own the responsibilities of others. I mean, we can't be responsible for the actions of others. You don't feel this is true, but the guides show that you did the best you could at the time. Oh, she's gonna leave. Don't leave.
Don't leave.
There you go. I can feel there's so much self-hatred, low self-worth, low self-esteem. All of that stuff is temporary. That stuff happened in a lifetime that, I don't know how to say this differently, that you're no longer in. You've passed. It's not something that you need to hold on to. You are where you are, not because you're supposed to be stuck or because you deserve to be in hell or anything like that. Your job right now is to help this little girl and help us cross this little girl tonight. And that is going to be one of the greatest things you have ever done. Doing that tonight will be a wonderful thing. Okay, so you're going to work with that guy. That detective. You guys don't need to like each other. You don't need to understand each other. You guys only have to think about that little girl that you both hurt so much for. I can see you also don't know why she hasn't crossed. And that it doesn't make sense to you. Let's ask. I want to know too. Okay, so I just got an answer. So I asked, why didn't she cross? Like, why does that make sense? Why wouldn't a little innocent girl cross over? Why wouldn't she immediately go to a heavenly place? Why would she still be in this in-between place? I think I'm seeing this through the detective's eyes now, that he's seeing now that he's in spirit, because he saw what happened right after she died. So, the way that she died, this one boy, the really messed up boy, he just didn't understand anything about life and love and empathy and none of it. He was not like other people. And so he'd done terrible things. And then at the end, he just wanted to experiment basically and see what would happen if he just essentially threw her down the stairs. And that was what he did at the very end. Oof. He just threw her down a flight of stairs. That was it. There was no reason. There was no why. And he did, and she died, thankfully, very quickly at that point. And that, at that moment, at the bottom of the stairs, I can see, and the detective can see it now. He's seeing it like, it's like we're watching a movie. Terrible movie. Her soul popped out. Her spirit was out of her body really quick right there. But then she listened, and again, she was little. She wasn't really understanding a lot of it, but the boys were talking about like needing to get rid of her body. And that's a terrible thing for a soul to hear. I mean, a lot of souls who have trauma about what happens to their body right after. And it's something that this little girl was just terrified of. And they said terrible things about wanting to, things that boys say. Let's chop her up. Let's hide, let's do all these terrible things. And she got terrified. And so she hid. And she went and hid. And this is what we don't understand about spirit, is she still is hiding. And she just went and hid. And it doesn't feel like time has passed. So she went and hid from these boys who were messing with her body after she died. So to the detectives, no, she didn't see or experience them putting her in the trash can or anything like that. She didn't see that happen to her body, which I don't know if that's a blessing or what that is. But so I see that her soul, it is good. He's glad she didn't see that. So she hid, and for a while she hid down in that area, and I can see her like crouched up against like a concrete wall. I can see her like crouched and like covering her ears and like closing her eyes. This is her in spirit after she was out of body. And I don't know why. I think she just hid so deeply. She'd like sucked in on herself so that she wouldn't even see guides or angels or loved ones in spirit. And she has stayed in that little state of hiding. And so what they're showing is that she hid that way for a long time there in that space. Again, I think this happened like 40 or 50 years ago. Time is not the same for them at all. But again, this is kind of a blessing thing, maybe, that it looks like she's just hiding, and she's, scared, yes, but it's like time hasn't passed, so she's just in that moment. But then something happened, like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, and it looks like her little soul spirit moved up to what looks like a library. And I see her in a library, wherever this was, some school. I don't know where it was. I'm not getting that, and that's not important, apparently. And so that's where she is, and I think that that's where you guys can go get her. I don't know how this works, but I think that you're supposed to go find her there, and that just know that she's afraid, and I'm going to talk to the detective. Yeah. Can you see her? I think you can see her. Okay, so you have guides with you. He doesn't know how this works either. So I'm going to tell him, detective, you have guides with you, and your guides can connect to her guides. You just need to get kind of close. And again, proximity is weird. Time and space is weird. You just need to like see her, kind of get a visual of her and think of the energy of her, the way that you connected to her. Good. So this is how we're going to connect with her. And this is, you're going to get to do your job right now. You get to go get her. Nice. My guides just showed that this is something that is going to help heal him too, because he's going to go find her, where she's going to look like the little girl and look alive. And she is alive for the spirit's life, so he's going to go get to find her, like the way he was supposed to find her, and it didn't work out. Oh, this is weird. It's basically like he's kind of solving the case. He's finding her now. Okay, so right now what I'm feeling, and all I can do is like relay, I'm not feeling the detective right here, right now. I think this is my guide and maybe his guide talking and making it happen, whatever they're supposed to be doing. I think he's actually off on some sort of little soul journey to go get her soul, okay? I know this is all wild, I don't understand it, but I think that's what's happening. I do feel the boy's mother here, and okay, so for her, she was kind of what we would call like a very young soul in life, but even though she's kind of in this in-between space, she has done a lot of, you have done, I'll talk to you, I know you're here. You have done a lot of processing, a lot of growing, and you've gotten to this point where you understood why you were the way you were in life. You understand why some things happen. You understand some of the stuff about your son, and you feel like you still don't deserve, because of what you've learned, to cross over. You think that you have earned some sort of eternal unhappiness. That's not something I can change. That's not something anyone can change other than you. Okay, you have to be the one to see that you are sitting in self-made suffering. So this is, I'm trying to have the conversation I have with them out loud.
Yeah.
Because I realize that it might not be coming through when I just sit here silently. So what I'm going to say to you, to her, to you, is that it doesn't make sense for you to choose to suffer like you are. Okay? She's listening. She's listening. Okay. So, yes. Okay, so she sees that she's choosing it, and and it's, I mean, at this point, it's like, I don't even know, self-flagellation. Like, you don't need to do it. There's no better way to say this. You've learned, you have grown. It's time to release what you're choosing to hold on to. It is very much a choice. Nobody else is making you feel the way that you feel. Your thoughts are in your own mind, right? You are the only one choosing to keep thinking the thoughts you were thinking. I'm just, like, it's better if I just kind of talk more frankly to you, because I know that's what I'm not going to, like, sugarcoat. You didn't like sugarcoating. You want authenticity. You want realism. The realist point here is that it is your time to release this. And there are so many people here who are going to assist you as soon as you cross. This is not crossing into some hellish state. You're in it right now. Yeah, sitting in your loop, sitting in these thoughts of thinking that you're this terrible person and you deserve terrible things. No. Okay. She's processing.
Right. I'm wondering, do we want to use the box? I would like, how long ago did she die?
I'm not sure when she died. Maybe the 90s. Oh. Yeah, let's try the box. All right, let's ask. So we have another device, and I think that it would be really helpful for people to hear from you directly.
Some of your words.
Some of your words.
Yeah. I guess first, would you like to share your name?
I heard Lisa.
I heard Lisa too.
I did. Lisa twice.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi,
Wow.
Lisa. I'm sorry that this happened to you. It was not easy to be a single mom back in the time when you were a single mom. And so
Hi.
Hi.
Different voice, but
Yeah.
where did this happen? Okay. It's okay. I don't want Illinois is what I heard.
Is that what that was?
I heard Illinois. You can make the theremin go off. Was it Illinois?
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it happen in the early 70s?
I think, did it say like forward? Or it was?
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay. So maybe
like the mid 70s.
Mid 70s.
Oh yeah. Yes. There
Okay,
was. And
yes.
that's her voice. Ooh,
Okay.
chills. It's the
Wow.
same voice.
Okay.
Is there something else that you want us to know about you and your life? Adults. Adults. So is there something else that you want us to know about this case? No. I feel like that slowed way down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk through this for just a minute. I can feel, too, that there is the connection being made right now between the detective and the little girl.
Howie.
I don't know what that was.
Did that say Howie?
Howie?
Out.
Out here? Anyway, so I can feel that that's happening right now. Yeah. I think that we know that you're here, and we know who you are, and we know what's going on. I think right now you're supposed to go be there too. Do you understand? I think that he needs help connecting to her.
Howie.
And this is where you can step in. Okay? So he's like made what they're showing is like he's made the path. Somehow there's like a spiritual pathway there to where she is. You're supposed to go on the path now. He had to make it. And now you go connect with him to the little girl. Okay? And you two are going to connect to her, help her see that she doesn't need to be afraid. And then you're going to come back here, and then we're going to do a healing with all three of you. Okay? This is going to be a unique crossing because it's for 3 different people. So we're going to be crossing the detective, we're going to be working with the little girl, and we're going to be working with Lisa. But we're going to do it all in one grid because there's some weird spiritual thing happening where their paths are crossing. Yeah. That, I'm pretty sure, is my guide. I don't feel any other souls around right now. Bridget. I heard Bridget. I heard it Bridget pretty clear.
I did too.
So if this is somebody else, possibly the detective, was this girl's name Bridget? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So I want to talk to, or let the guides work with Lisa. Let's pause.
Okay.
Probably.
Should
and
we
reset.
start setting up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're ready, and they're gonna. I think the guides are gonna help Lisa just while we get set.
Okay. Okay. I think we better break and get this set so that we can do the crossing on the table.
I just feel like they're ready.
I do think too that some of this going off is fear from Lisa. So it feels like Lisa has some fear that she's kind of not going to go to a good place. Okay, stop walking around for a minute. Okay, so I'll just, the guides are going to do this with you, Lisa, too, but you need to know that nothing that you did is unforgivable. Okay, nothing that you did is permanent. No matter how terrible it is, a wonderful gift of this life is that it is very temporary. And we all get this chance to release things that happen in a lifetime. Okay? So they're going to help you with this too, but there's nothing to be afraid of here, okay? There's nothing scary about where you're going. The way that I see it, it's not like Judgment Day. It's not like anybody is going to try you and condemn you, and it's nothing like that, okay? It's we're the harshest critics of ourselves. There's reflection. There's a reflection time. This is what other souls have shown me. This is what Spirit shows me. There's a time where we look back at our lives. We look back at everything we experienced. You're going to do that. And as you look, you have the opportunity to see things from a bunch of different perspectives. So that's the hard part. That's the hard part for everybody. Every experience we have in life, we see it from all of the people who were affected in different ways by our actions. But that's it. Okay, so that's absolutely something that you can do. That part's hard for people who really, really hurt people and hurt people intentionally. But you didn't do any of that. Okay, you are not a violent person. You did not want to hurt people. You didn't actively hurt people on purpose. Okay, so you didn't do any of that. Again, I mean, and the guides are saying this, listen to them. You did the best you could. Okay. Okay. So actually I want to just do a prayer because she's afraid that she's got silly fears about her soul being at risk and that she's going to go to hell, and she sees fiery pits and all that kind of stuff. So it's nothing like that. Okay? It's not what we've been shown. It's not what we've been told. Stop moving now. You have to stop moving. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So those images I can see that you're getting that are really scary, they're dark and they're fiery and all that, that's in your mind, okay? Those are planted. That's not what it's like. That's not where you're going. That's your own fears, okay? It's nothing like that. I've seen the most wicked, evil, vile people, and they don't go to a place like that. I know that doesn't make sense to anybody, but that's not what it's like. Where you're at right now is one of the worst places that you can be, which is where you're disconnected, okay? You're disconnected from a lot, and all you feel is these yucky feelings of guilt and shame and all that. That's a very dark place to be, okay? So we'll do a prayer, okay? We'll do a prayer for you, for your soul, for all of that. But I want to tell you that's not needed, okay? That we'll do this, and I know it'll help. It does help. But it's not needed to stop you from going somewhere bad, okay? All right. You also in this need to believe that you can be forgiven. You need to believe that you can forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. Good. Okay, so we'll do prayer, and then we're going to do this. Okay, you're ready. Okay, it's just gonna, you're gonna get anxious, you're gonna feel anxiety about it, but you're ready. Okay? So, Father, Mother, God, Holy Spirit, Divine Light, Source of all that is, on this night we give great thanks for this sacred circle of healing. We're grateful for the guides and the angels who come through to escort these three beautiful souls to the heavenly place, to the place of peace and light and love, where they can continue to heal, where they can feel ease, where they can feel peace, where they can feel bliss and joy and happiness and all the things they are meant to feel, all the things they deserve to feel and they are worthy of. Okay, all three of these souls we know from the guides and the angels and source are worthy of love. All three of these souls are protected by and surrounded by the white light of God. Okay, I'll say it again. All three of these souls are protected by and surrounded by the loving white light of God. Okay, and we are grateful that the guides and the angels are escorting them safely, walking with them tonight to the place of peace and light and love. Okay. This session is grounded in the loving white light of God, of Yahweh, of the great Creator. And these souls are safe, these souls are healing, these souls are deeply, deeply loved. Good. For these many blessings, we give great thanks tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Spirit work cases are always unpredictable, and as Gabrielle began to lay out the grid, the guides had shifted the intention of the ceremony to also include trauma healing for Lisa, the mother of the boy who had murdered Bridget. The flowers chosen by Spirit are an important symbolic element of the soul crossing ceremony. The 3 flowers placed at the head of the table are representative of the spirits of Bridget, the detective, and Lisa. The guides showed that the wilted and broken calla lily placed at the base of the grid represented the wounded parts of Lisa that would be left behind as she crossed over. Flowers placed in the wooden vessel at the end of the central path of the grid symbolically represent the sacred lifting and transition of the souls from the earth plane to the heavenly place. The interwoven experiences and layers of these 3 souls were all coming together as the grid was created, and the timelines of life and death for these 3 connected souls all converged in the moment of this spirit-guided healing ceremony.
the detective and the little girl went. I'll share in just a minute, and then
The what?
the detective and the little girl crossed over just now. I'll share what I saw in just a sec, but now she has to go. She'll go now that she saw them go. Lisa will. She wouldn't go until they went. Okay, I will say what I saw. I don't know why I got to see so much of this one. But it was just... It like answers so much about spirit stuff too. But what they showed happened when I said that he was gonna go get her is that he just went and found her and was able to see her and see where she was, but he wasn't able to get her. And that's why when we tried to have the conversation, he wasn't talking to us, because he didn't have her. And he thought something was wrong, but it had to wait till right now, like during the crossing.
In order to get her from there?
Yeah, because what they showed was so good. It was so good. It was like he was stuck in that loop of finding her, not good, finding her dead, and he was stuck in that loop. And it was like they let him just have it a different way. I mean, like, they just let him have it a different way. So he got to, like, re-experience it, going back and finding her, like, alive. And you got to see it that way, and you just let the little girl have that experience too, where she just was found and all that other stuff hadn't happened. And then it was like, just like, he got her and he like picked her up and like walked out of the building and just like handed her to her parents. And then he was like handing her to her parents, and they were like on the other side. Like, I just saw them in this bright light. He like handed her to them, and then just walked with them. And so they crossed that way. And then this like amazing thing happened with Lisa, where she had to do that thing where she was like very damaged young, which we thought. So she like aged down, and they got her as like a little girl because she went back to that to heal those fractures.
Yeah.
And then they showed her as she crossed, like they showed her crossing as a little girl, and they showed her meeting the little girl. And so they were together, like just Lisa as a little girl, and she hadn't had the shitty life she had, or that's what it felt like to them. I don't know, it was like it just totally got rid of that life, is what it felt like. And then right when I felt that they got rid of Lisa's crappy life, the candle went out. Like they were like, you're just done with that, that's not who you are. And then it was like she just got to meet the little girl, and they were both just like whole. And then the detective's just off with his family. It was like so storybook perfect. Like, I mean, I don't know. It was like they just got to have it the perfect way.
This was one of the most impactful cases our team has ever worked. To talk to these three souls, hear their experiences, watch them shed their wounds and traumas, and feel their souls cross over to the place of light and love was a truly extraordinary experience. We will forever remember and be grateful for our time with Bridget, Lisa, and the amazing soul who was the detective, a man committed to helping others get home safely, even in the afterlife. Please join us again on the next episode of Remarkable Spirit: The Crossings.